This hasn't been enforced yet. Coming soon, though. Peter Singer is the guy who wants to have abortions after the baby's born. You got 28 days to decide if you want to keep it. He said, Christianity is our foe. If animal rights is to succeed, we must destroy the Judeo-Christian religious tradition. Like animals have more rights than humans. Greg said the world has cancer. The cancer is man. Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth, she's the one that invented the microwave. Never mind. Okay. Prince Philip said, if I could be reincarnated, I would wish to return to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels. Nice guy, Phil. By the way, Monsanto is real busy on working on genetically modified foods. They banned them in Europe. But 70% of everything you eat now contains genetically modified foods, causing all kinds of problems with health. Get the book Seeds of Deception if you want a whole lot more on that. Or Engineered Extinction from the New American Magazine about how our food is being tampered with to reduce the population. The United Nations said food is power. We use it to control behavior. We do not apologize. And before you get excited about vaccines, you might want to read what's happening with the viruses being injected in with the vaccines, the time bombs being planted in there. Long story on that. We cover more on that on our Bible and Health videotape. Autism has gone crazy. There's been a 75,000% increase in autism in Illinois. It's from vaccines, most people believe. Sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, seems to be from vaccines. In Australia, they made vaccines non-mandatory. 50% of the people dropped out and had a 50% drop in SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Go to marytoko.com if you want more on vaccines. But there are people who want to reduce the population of the earth. Go outside of Atlanta, Georgia, to the town of Elberton. Go north about 7 or 8 miles on Highway 77 and look off to the right. You'll see a place over there where they teach you should reduce the population of the planet. By the way, that's probably what the chemtrails are all about, too. Watch for chemtrails on the internet. Chemtrails. But if you look off to the right, you'll see these stones over here. It looks like Stonehenge. You drive over there, it's the weirdest place, middle of nowhere. You get up and you read them, and it says in 12 languages, the 10 Commandments for the New World Order. Commandment number 1, maintain humanity under 1/2 billion. Well, now hold on a minute. There's already 6 billion people here. How do they propose to maintain humanity under 1/2 billion? Looks to me like there's going to have to be a dramatic drop in population. That's exactly what the devil wants. More on that in our college class, CSE 101. Well, regardless of what happens in the future, the population today tells us man's only been here about 4,400 years. They said it looks like there's been a genetic bottleneck. The whole population was reduced to a few thousand just a couple thousand years ago. Hey, they're getting closer. Actually, it was all reduced to 8 about 4,400 years ago. Keep studying. I tell everybody, you keep studying. When you get done climbing the mountain of truth, you find the Baptists have been sitting there all along. Yeah. Galaxies are spinning, but the stars in the middle go faster than the stars at the outside. So why do we still have spiral arms on the galaxies? They should not be there, okay? Galaxies are evidence that the Earth, the universe at least, is not billions of years old. Stars are blowing up all the time. It's called a supernova or a nova. But a star blows up about every 30 years, and yet there's less than 300 supernova fragments that have been found, remnants. That's only a few thousand years worth of stars. Why aren't there billions of supernova remnants? Some people say, well, new stars are forming in Crab Nebula or Eagle Horsehead Nebula. No, that's a bunch of baloney. We covered that on video 7. Nobody's ever seen a star form. The planet Jupiter is cooling off rapidly. Saturn, the stars are changing from red giants to white dwarfs. The textbook says it takes billions of years. We know that's not true. All the ancient astronomers said Sirius was a red star. Today it's a white dwarf. It happens in a few thousand years. Don't let them tell you it takes billions of years. Jupiter's cooling off rapidly, constantly losing heat. It cannot be billions of years old. It would have been cold by now. Jupiter's moon Ganymede has a strong magnetic field, indicating a liquid core, meaning it is not billions of years old. Saturn's rings are expanding away from the planet. They cannot be billions of years old. There's more about that in the book In the Beginning by Walt Brown. Excellent book, by the way. The moon goes around the earth. How many knew that already? The moon goes around the earth. But you know, as the moon goes around the earth, it's gradually getting farther away. We're slowly losing the moon. It's leaving us a couple inches a year. No big deal. Nothing to worry about. Plus, nothing you can do about it anyway. But the moon is getting farther from the earth every day. Now, kids, this is going to be complicated, so listen carefully. The moon is getting farther from the earth every day. So that means that it used to be closer. How many can figure this out with no help at all? Okay. Well, if you bring the moon in closer, you start to create a problem because the moon causes the tides. Now, you folks in Knoxville probably don't worry about the tides. But in Pensacola, you worry about the tides. See, if the moon was closer, the tides would be higher. There's a law called the inverse square law. If you brought the moon in to 1/3 the distance, you take the 1/3, flip it over, and square it, it's 9 times the gravitational pull. If you run all the math on this, you'll find out the moon and Earth would have been almost together 1.4 billion years ago. Walt Brown says 1.2 billion years ago is the max lifespan for Earth and moon. Well, if the moon was whizzing around just above the surface of the Earth, that explains what happened to the tall dinosaurs. They got mooned. Comets are flying around through space, but comets are constantly losing material. I mean, stuff blows off the tail of a comet. You can't just keep losing, okay? Pretty soon it's gone. You know, it's kind of like your checkbook. See, if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will be your downfall every single time. Well, these comets are always losing material. That's something you just can't keep doing forever. Most astronomers say comets can't last more than about 10,000 years. Okay, well then I have a question. Why do we still have comets out there? They should all be gone by now. I mentioned in a seminar years ago that comets is an indication that the solar system is less than 10,000 years old, and an atheist went home and devoted an entire website against me, anti-Hovind website. There are now over 1,000. One guy told me there's closer to 2,000 anti-Hovind websites. I'm so proud of myself. My son and I answer most of them on our video series, Answering the Critics. And we also have a radio program every day. People can call in, ask their questions. It was the Creation Science Hour. It's now an hour and a half, 4:30 to 6 every day, Central Time, right on the internet. Go to drdino.com and follow the links to the Creation Science Hour. You can write in with your questions. We get people calling from all over the world that are really angry because they believe in evolution. Well, this one scoffer on his website said, Hovind, don't you know that a Dutch astronomer back in 1950, his name was Jan Oort, he proposed, it means he hoped, he wished, he prayed, that there was a great shell of comets out there, and new ones keep coming in to replace the old ones that are burning out. So he said, the reason we still have comets is because new ones are replacing the ones that are burning up. They called it the Oort cloud of comets. He said this Oort cloud is 50,000 astronomical units away. Well, if you don't know what an astronomical unit is, it's the distance from the sun to the earth. That's 1 astronomical unit. It's pretty hard to see Pluto without a really good telescope. And Pluto's only 39 astronomical units away. You're never going to see a comet at 50,000 astronomical units, that's for sure, okay? Nobody's ever seen this Oort cloud. Oort never saw the Oort cloud. The whole thing's based on a mathematical mistake. There is no Oort cloud. Even Carl Sagan said, many scientific papers are written each year about the Oort cloud, its properties, its origin, its evolution, yet there's not a shred of direct observational evidence for its existence. There is no Oort cloud. But this scoffer on his website said, Hovind, if you want to use the comet argument, to prove the earth is young, it's up to you to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the Oort cloud and other sources don't exist. Wait. How would you prove the non-existence of something? Wouldn't I have to be all places at the same instant to prove something doesn't exist? What he's trying to do here is called shifting the burden of proof. The liberals do it to us all the time, and we fall for it. I'll show you how easy it is to do. Okay? Suppose I said, watermelons are blue on the inside until you cut the skin. Prove I'm wrong. That's called shifting the burden of proof. That'd be pretty hard to do, wouldn't it? As soon as you cut the skin, see, it turned red. I was right. It was blue a second ago. He says, I have to prove there's no Oort cloud. Now, wait, Dave. Here's what we know. We know we have comets. We know they don't last more than about 10,000 years. We know the Bible says the earth is 6,000 years old. I don't have a problem with comets. But he wants to make it look like I have a problem with comets when he's the